Hello and welcome to the Psychic Side here on the A1R Psychic Radio Network and Lightning TV and Moonstruck Television on YouTube. So we're delighted to have you as a listener or as a person watching our program. And we're happy to tell you that we are the number one psychic radio network on earth. And this is Tuesday. It's 5 p.m. on the East Coast, and I'm your host, John Cappello. We're the show that debunks the skeptics. So you always hear about people that try to debunk the psychics. So we debunk the skeptics. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that I think is interesting. We're going to be talking about the planet Neptune. Neptune in astrology. A lot of people don't talk about Neptune, but I wanted to do that today because it's Neptune is in an interesting position that hasn't been in since about 1861, and it's just an interesting planet. It's a very misunderstood planet. It's a planet that in astrology it has to do with mysticism. It has to do with things that are hidden. It has to do with illusion and disillusion. Sometimes people have called Neptune the great dissolver. It takes between, some people say 154 years or 165 years to go around the sun. And so it's not something that happens frequently. And it takes about 14 years to go through a particular sign or a particular area in the zodiac. It happens to be in Pisces right now. So it's called a generational planet. It's one of the outer planets. It's malefic, and it's the area that you might find where you have issues um, um, with being fooled, if it's in your chart. It's a part where you may have some of your greatest creativity, but also it's an area where there are addictions, things that you can't, that you have problems with. So it's associated with the sign of Pisces. So it happens to be in its sign where it's ruler. It's the new ruler of Pisces, by the way. It used to be the ruler used to be Jupiter until Neptune was discovered, and uh, the reason why is because the ancient astrologers couldn't see that far. They couldn't see that far with their naked eye. So they started doubling up on some of the rulerships of some of the signs, and so Jupiter was not only the ruler of Sagittarius, it was also the ruler of Pisces. But once the older, the newer planets that we have identified, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto were discovered. Of course, Pluto was always, still a dwarf planet. These planets were assigned their own sign, or they're considered new rulers, at least in Western astrology. So the energy of Neptune is about disillusionment. It's about let's see. I wrote down a few things: imagination, the mystical realm, um, and it's about escapism. And that's why uh, people are associated with addictions, because a lot of times, there's lots of reasons why people become addicted, but one of the reasons why is they want to escape from their problems. And so using illicit drugs or alcohol, or just being addicted to other things that can distract them from their problems in this plane, are very, very prominent for Neptune. And of course, like I said, I have a reason for talking about it today, because it's affecting us, especially here in the United States. So that's where my consciousness is, of course, because I'm in Texas and in the United States, and we have this huge election coming up. And I wanted to bring it up because it is affecting us, and it's something that you should be aware of, because something the universe is forcing us to deal with. And we're always being given challenges by these transits, and we have to learn to overcome them and work with them. And we're going to take our first caller here in just a moment. But I wanted to make sure that you understood that I'm trying to make astrology more real for you. And what I would do is, if you are looking at your own chart, you might find out where Neptune is transiting, because you might find that there are certain areas, or that's the area of your chart where you're having some trouble getting clarity. You know, and so let's take our first caller, Ann in Buffalo, New York. Ann, are you there?
I am.
So how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, fine. Ann, are you married?
I am.
Okay. Seems like it feels like your relationship with your husband is going well, is it?
It is.
Okay, very good. So I'm happy to say that, because sometimes I have to say I don't think it's going well, but in your case, it feels very good, very natural. And so, do you have a question for me today?
I, I, yeah. So I guess I'd like to know. I don't know if I have a specific question. Um,
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, let's
Kind of
see.
caught me off guard when they said that you were going to call, and I'm like, oh, yay! I've been trying for like ever to get on here, and then I don't have any questions.
You've been trying to reach someone on the network, or me, or anyone in particular, or what?
No, no. I just, um,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I tell
I
you what.
do listen to you, so yeah.
Oh, well,
Life
good.
is
Well,
good
thank
right
you.
now.
What is your birth sign?
I am a Virgo.
You're a Virgo. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if things are going well for you as a Virgo, that's fantastic, because right now the pesky planet for you is Saturn, because it is also in Pisces, and uh, and now Neptune would be opposed to your Sun in your chart, but Saturn is the one that's going to be really kind of affecting your the structures in your life. So it affects your relationship, it affects your job, it affects your health, it affects where you live, just about everything. If everything is going well, and I think there's always something that can be tweaked, but if it's going well, then the next 7 years will be easy. Okay, so if
That's good news because I've had hard times prior to this.
had hard times prior to this, okay, well, you have some other things, because that maybe it may have been going on. If Of course, Pluto was in Capricorn for a long time, it can be a difficult transit, even when it's a trine, because it's a malefic. But I'm glad that things are seem to be evening out. Now, do you have a son?
I do. I have
Was
two.
he were either one of them in the military, or wanted to go to the military?
No, but my husband is in the military and he's actually going to be leaving this Sunday for his orders.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So maybe that's something that's a little bit stressful for you. But your sons don't. Are they old enough to go into the military, or what?
Nope, nope. My two youngest are 12 and 13.
Okay. Well, don't be surprised when they get older if they don't want to follow, or at least one of them wants to follow in Dad's footsteps, because it seems like they admire him. So, are you feeling like he's going to be deployed overseas?
No, so actually, we are super lucky. This is his last tour, and then he'll have his retirement from the military. So he's been in
Ah,
since he was
okay.
17.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So he's about ready to end his career. So
He
so very
is very young, yes. So yeah,
very
age
good.
is young. He's in his 40s, and we just had, and I was trying like forever because get a hold to talk to you, and I had a recent battle with cancer just a couple of years ago, and then stress of a job was just miserable, and I didn't know where my job was going, and I just got a new job that I absolutely love, and things are going well for a change.
Well, Saturn has been in Virgo for, I mean, been in Pisces for a while. And so you had those structural issues that needed to be changed. And what you're saying is you dealt with a health problem,
Yep.
and fortunately it's in remission, or it's completely gone. And you
Yep.
had to deal with your job, and now your husband is getting ready to retire from the military. So all of those things are structural things in your chart. And the thing that you should admire about yourself is that you dealt with them. A lot of times
Yeah.
people don't deal with it, and when they don't deal with those issues that are at hand, then the consequences are greater. So you did very well by dealing with those issues. I'm so sorry you had to go through those things, but
No,
you must.
yeah, don't be sorry. Yeah, I firmly believe things happen for a reason. And boy, have I had some doozers in the past. And
Yeah.
you look back on those hard times, and you're like, wow, that's why that happened. And sometimes
Okay.
it's not your own lesson to learn; it's someone else's, or something
Mhm.
for you to recognize in your life. And I feel really, really lucky there.
Well, very good. Well, good. Well, I'm so happy that you got through those things. It's like I say, now that you're through those major structural issues and you have a job that you love, things should be getting easier for you for a while now. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Neptune here in just a moment, but Neptune is opposed to your sign of Virgo, and it's at the 29th degree. So I'm going to tell people a little bit about that, but thank you very much for your call. Good luck to you, and I appreciate you being a viewer or listener to our program. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you may have heard me talk a little bit about critical degrees on the program in the past, astrologically. Well, when you have a critical degree, and usually 29 degrees of any sign, when a planet is there, or you have a planet that's 29 degrees in your chart, it's the weakest degree of that particular sign. But it's kind of like, okay, I got the planet's saying, well, I don't have as much energy as I had before, so I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. I'm going to fight. I'm going to just before I go to that next sign, I'm going to fight. I'm going to push ahead, and there's going to be some kind of event, or there's going to be some kind of issue that comes up, and that's why I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what 29 degrees Neptune is doing, because what it has been, it's been in the third house of the United States, and now it's going into the fourth house. It's been in the fourth house, I guess, for a little while now, but when it was in the third house of the United States, that's the media. Okay, and I've been saying that ever since the 2016 election and 2020. I hate to be down on the media so much, but what's happened is that they are bearing the brunt of all the foolishness that they have perpetrated over the past 10 to 15 years, and a lot of it has been around Donald Trump. But the terrible things and the terrible hoaxes that they have tried to uh, get over on people, and the cover-ups that they have done, are now starting to show themselves. And we saw some capitulation or some exposure of their issues when Elon Musk purchased Twitter, and he found out all the foolishness that company was doing. But but now we're starting to see on a large scale the media suffering the consequences of how they handled the past two White Houses. And I don't know what the exact consequences are going to be as far as sweeping clean the problems that they have caused and the things that they've done. But there does need to be some kind of consequences. Now we see CBS as being sold. We see Disney, who owns ABC, being in problematic situations. A lot of other places have lost a tremendous amount of credibility, and so other news stations, other news outlets, including Fox, they had to deal with misinformation that they were accused of promoting with voting machines. They lost a major lawsuit there. So I'm not trying to be right or left. I'm just trying to just tell you that these organizations have got to clean up their act. They've got to clean up their act, and they've got to be more transparent. And they got to be more honest, because it's they've completely lost their credibility. So I just want to point that out to you. And Neptune is going into the fourth house of the United States. Now, the fourth house is home, and we'll talk a little bit about that after our next caller. So we have April in Canal Fulton, Ohio. So, April, are you there?
Yes,
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fine, fine. Um, this is interesting. Is there anything about a new baby in your life, or were there ever any complications to a pregnancy around you or anything?
No,
No?
not that I
Okay.
know of.
Not that you know of. Okay. Do you have children?
I have two stepchildren.
You have two what? Two
I
stepchildren?
have two stepchildren.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've never had a child of your own? Not a
No.
miscarriage or anything? I hope you haven't. So, well, that's good.
Um, I had one back when I was 18, but that's a while ago.
Okay, okay. Well, that energy is there. So I don't know. That's kind of what I pick up odd things. I'm terribly sorry you had to go through that. But April, do you have a question for me?
Um, I was thinking about it, but I just kind of wondered what the spirits had to say in regards to anything I just need to be aware of.
Okay, all right. So April, do you have a father or grandfather in spirit?
I do.
Okay, is this a father?
No,
No, it's
grandfather.
grandfather. Okay, but was he like a father figure to you?
Yes.
Okay. Because this is a man that, for me, was a little bit bigger than life. He was someone that may have given you a sense of a wise man, of being a wise man. And it just seems to me that he might have been a little detached, but there was a mystique about him that you seem to admire or was gravitated towards. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Now, are you having any issues in a current relationship?
No,
Okay, that's
not
good. I'm
currently.
glad. Not okay. What is your birth sign?
Pisces.
You're Pisces. Okay. We're talking a lot about Pisces today, with Saturn being in Pisces and Neptune being also in Pisces. So when Neptune is so strong in your sign, and it's not just when it's in Pisces, you have to check, double check, and triple check. Okay, to make sure that things are not are as they seem to be. Okay, so April, it just seems to me that you're a person that wants to believe people. You want to have faith in people, and I don't know. I just feel like there have been some things around you that have not turned out the way you'd hoped to, and and so my advice to you is just to be a little bit more methodical. Now, you haven't taken a couple of things I've said, but just knowing what I know of your chart already, I can tell you that some of the structures in your chart are going to be shaken in the past year and a half, and upcoming year and a half or so. So just pay attention to those signs. Also, are you close to mother, or is mother in spirit?
No, my mother's still here.
She's in spirit. Okay. Were you close to her?
That would be my mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law. Okay.
My Yeah, my mom's still here.
Oh, your mother-in-law is in spirit. Okay. Mother-in-law, was she someone that was she? Did she also offer some kind of sage advice to you?
We go back quite a ways. I met her before I met my husband.
Okay, because it just
So,
feels like there was a bond there. Did you have a strong bond with her?
yes.
Okay, because this woman loved you. She accepted you. She is so happy that you were part of the family, and so she may have even indicated that to you. So you must have worked with. Did you work with her? Is that it?
Yes, that's how we
Okay.
met, and then I met
Okay.
her son many years down the road.
Many years down the road. Okay. Well,
Mhm.
when you're in a work environment, sometimes you don't get to meet everyone's family, but it just sounds like you met your son, her son, much later as in your career. But it just seems
Mhm.
like you're a natural fit to the family. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Well, very good. So it just seems to me, and what I'm picking up is I feel like self confidence. A lot of times, Pisces, um, they can use a little bit of a pat on the back every once in a while. And right now, you might be a little bit of a self critic. You might be second guessing some of the things that you are thinking about or going through.
Mhm.
But trust yourself and check and recheck and recheck again to make sure
Right.
that you don't get fooled by something, because with Neptune being in in your sign and affecting the sun of your sun sign, it's very, it
Mhm.
can be a very confusing time. So I hope that you'll do that, and thank
Mhm.
you very much for your call.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So I was talking a little bit about the 29th degree of a sign. You can see in your chart, like I say, if any of the planets that you have are at the 29th degree, because it's the area where you may want to make a push, and or there may be something that you have got to finish up, and in the case of Neptune being in the third house of the United States, it's now moved into the fourth house. So the aftermath of all of the problems that the media has caused, or the miscommunication between families and miscommunication between people that had been friends at one particular time, there are consequences now because cooler heads have not prevailed. And so, I don't know if you heard some of the comments that Whoopi Goldberg made, some outrageous comments and delusional comments, as far as I'm concerned, deranged comments. I just feel like she made a fool of herself, because a person that's not balanced, and that's a Neptune influence, because just the hate that someone could have towards another person that they don't even know is just not healthy. So I'd have to look at her chart to find out what the problem was with that. But some of the comments she made were just really inappropriate, and so at least that's from my perspective. But I do my best to watch my own charts and say, am I looking at this clearly? Am I looking at this planet clearly? Am I looking at that? And I try to use my natal chart as a cheat sheet, and look at the transits and saying, oh, what's gonna happen here and what's gonna happen there. And so I've learned over the many years that I've been around, and all the gray hair that I have now, that I found the areas that I hit on the head and areas that I missed. And so I feel like I have several more years to go. So I've got several more years to try to get things right. But with Neptune at 29 degrees and moving into the fourth house is about home. And in this particular case, it's the country. And the Civil War began on April 12th, 1861. And Neptune was at 29 degrees Pisces, and so it's a wake up call, because Pluto is in this position that the United States was in during the Revolutionary War. So we have a kind of a silent revolution going on, and the next 10 to 15 years are going to be very tumultuous as far as trying to sort things out in the city, in the country. And so there's going to be a lot of division, but there is also a lot of hope because a new, better society will emerge from it. But it's just going to take some time, and it's going to have some bumps and bruises along the way. Now, we don't want a revolution, and we don't want a civil war, that's for sure. But that's why we have to be mindful of our own actions. We have to be mindful of our own of the things that we do and the things that we say, and make sure that we don't say things that are going to intentionally hurt someone, or we may need to learn to use a little bit of a filter. And I wish Whoopi Goldberg would have used a little bit of a filter. Okay, so we're calling her out. She's never going to watch this show probably, but just shame on her for saying some of the things she said, and shame on the media for acting the way that they have acted for many, many years, and act like they're such authorities. Now, I'm a little bit of an authority on astrology. I can't claim to be an authority on anything else, but I do claim that I have some abilities. But with watching astrology and watching the transits in people's lives has been something I've done for many, many years. And a lot of times they don't, the issues don't show up immediately, but a lot of times you have to look at hindsight. And right now we have an opportunity to look at hindsight of what Neptune did the last time it was at 29 degrees Pisces. So I hope that you'll keep that in mind. Look at your charts. We're here on the psychic side. I want to go ahead and thank our sponsor, Miracles of Joy, for always being there for us. Use their promo code PSO223 to get a discount when you go to their website on their online store. So thank you very much for watching our program or listening today. I hope you'll join us next week here on the psychic side. I'll pick another topic that I think is interesting, at least to me. I hope it'll be interesting to you. Be sure to call in or email me at john@johncappello.com. I've got online classes coming up. So we hope to have you as a listener of our program next week here on the psychic side. Thank you very much. I'm John Cappello. Bye-bye.